Often I see babies who come in for colic or reflux, and colic and reflux are usually the baby will come in crying a lot for no reason. They cry for long periods of time. Sometimes it will be every day at a particular time for 2 to 3 hours. And there really isn't a treatment for it. Sometimes they're told they have to outgrow it. Reflux is usually reflexes when the baby may pause it or bring up its milk. Sometimes they'll have what's silent reflux, and there'll be like a sort of a little bit of a gurgling noise, but the baby isn't really bringing up its milk. When I see a baby who comes in to me for colic or reflux, apart from the general assessment on the body, what I'll look at is the position of the head and the neck. And the reason for that is if we look at the back of the head, often the baby's base of the head will be compressed on the first neck bone. The space will be very tight. And I gently just take some pressure off of that because there's a lot of nerves and blood vessels, and generally the baby will feel more relaxed when we do this. The other thing too is that this purple bone at the back of the head is also the same bone that makes up the whole bottom of the head. And this hole is where the spinal cord comes out. When I see a baby with a compressed head or with colic or reflux, sometimes the position of this bone may have shifted. In a baby, this bone is in 4 pieces. This part will be in 1 piece. This is another piece. This is another piece. This is another piece. Sometimes when the bone shifts, it can compress against the red bone. When I do head shaping, it's important for me to make sure this is lined up as much as possible, because those 4 sides determine the position of how the spinal cord comes out. And we want the diameter of this hole to be as big as possible so there's lots of room around the spinal cord. If we look at the red bone and the purple bone, we can look at it from this position or we can look at it from the inside. What's interesting about the red bone and the purple bone and how they come together is that there's a very large hole here on either side. And this is where 3 nerves and a vein have to travel through. And one of the nerves, which is called the vagus nerve, and it's the longest cranial nerve in the body, this nerve supplies all the organs in the body, the heart, the lungs, the liver, and all of the digestive organs. And so sometimes when this purple bone gets compressed here and pushes against the red bone, you can actually get a compression of any of those nerves. So the person or the infant can have problems with sucking or swallowing, and also one of the nerves goes to the neck muscles. So sometimes their head will be tilted or twisted, and then also you can see some of the digestive symptoms. So when we work with the baby, we decompress the area very gently to take pressure off the nerve.